Hello everyone and welcome to Istanbul in Turkey for round 10 of the Grand Prix Virtual World Championship season. Only 14 cars managed to make it to the starting grid for the 58 lap race, led once again by Tanskanen on pole. This time joined on the front row by Wix, whose teammate Ryan starts third ahead of Koivunen and Volker. A poor start for Wix sees him drop 2 positions, but Mullins is knocked around and spun by Miller, puncturing the drag and dropping him to the back. Stanton spins at turn 4, but others manage to avoid him. Miller keeps fending off Thomas as Wix puts a pass on Koivunen around the outside at turn 8. End of the first lap, and Tanskanen heads up the reduced field. Ryan follows him, then it's Wix, Koivunen, Volker, Miller, Thomas and Panisi in 8, who heads into turn 1 attempting a late pass on Thomas, but runs out of room and spins, dropping him back into a fight with teammate Stanton and Lichtenstein. Ahead of them, Williamson spins and sees the yellow bird run wide. Panisi then overtakes his teammate. Wix has quickly caught up to the leading pair and is beginning to hassle Ryan enough to make him start going defensive. Lichtenstein moves ahead of a heavily fueled Panisi. Lap 8, and recognising his teammate is faster at this stage, Ryan decides not to fight to keep Wix behind any longer, and allows his teammate past to try his luck at pressing Tanskanen in the lead. Volker passes Koivunen when the ART bounces out wide. Moments later, his teammate runs wide and is displaced by a charging Yellowbird, but the next lap, Evangelidakis retakes the position with a slightly wild yet effective pass. Stanton's recaught Panisi and makes several attempts to pass before managing to do so on lap 13. Ryan's half spin drops him 7 seconds behind the lead and propels the Woods driver into switching to a 3-stop strategy. Miller's spin sees Evangelidakis and Lichtenstein rise to 7th and 8th respectively as a Synergetic decides to be come the first to pit on lap 15. Thomas spins on lap 17 when running a fine 6th, and falls into the middle of a battle with Evangelidakis and Lichtenstein, but those two pit that lap, releasing the Oz Racing Charger back into clear air. Lap 19, and Tanskanen and Wicks pit together, but the close proximity of their pit boxes means Wicks has to reverse slightly into his slot and loses time to his Norwegian rival. Folker inherits the lead for a lap. And during the stops, Lichtenstein has leaped his way ahead of Thomas and into 6th just. So, after first stops by lap 22, Tanskanen leads Wicks by 4 seconds, who is another 4 ahead of Ryan. Folker is another 10 back in 4th, all 4 lapping similar times at this stage. Panisi spins and passes 9th over to Miller. Then, the next lap, he runs wide, and the tight line of his recovery offers Evangelidakis no chance of avoiding spinning his rival. The Red Archer, though, still sportingly hands 9th back to the constant. They then chase and battle for several laps before the Red Archer wins out. Miller then catches and sneaks past Panisi. Evangelidakis then undoes his good work by spinning twice and having to wait and watch positions flash by. Miller then loses time, as behind him Panisi is replaced by the recovering Mullins. Koivunen survives a fast spin at turn 8 on lap 27. Ryan makes his second of 3 stops and drops behind Folker as Mullins presses on and takes 9th off Miller's hands. Another spin for Panisi again gives Evangelidakis no chance to avoid it. This time though, both drivers suffer damage and lose any chance of a points finish. Another contact gives a lapping Ryan a scare. Lap 38, at the second round of pit stops, Wicks stops a lap later than Tanskanen, who comes out just behind Folker, and thus emerges just 2 seconds behind the leading Finn. In the last stint, Wicks lays down his challenge to Tanskanen, and soon the gap is down to under a second. Ryan runs third 4 seconds back, but still has a pit stop to make, and when he does, on lap 46, crucially emerges ahead of Folker to hold on to third and the final podium spot to the race end. In the final 10 laps, the two leaders are pushing each other hard, trading quick laps, the gap at its lowest down to half a second. But ultimately, that's as close as it gets, as neither driver makes a mistake. With only 2 laps to go, Thomas, Stanton and Mullins all manage to find themselves together battling for 7th. As Thomas is lapped by Koivunen, Stanton seizes the chance to pounce, but Thomas isn't giving up just yet. Mullins had been catching the pair but spins behind them. At the next corner though, a touch between Stanton and Thomas spins the Oz Racing car. Stanton now has 7th secured, but Thomas must hold on to 8th from Mullins a bit longer, outbrakes himself and grass tracks the penultimate turn. The win though is Tanskinen's after seeing off the challenge of Wicks's Woods. It's win number 7 in the season, already having built a huge 37-point lead in the championship by the season's midpoint. Wicks's second place sees him pass the absent Morris and take over second in the championship. Nordgen now move further clear in the constructors race as well, as Woods' double podium moves them to within a point of CSG in second.